I also like have my notepad out because I want to try to do something like this also, or I'm gonna do like a round table soon. So I'm gonna
Oh,
have to do this next week actually.
hi everyone. So today's video will be a podcast. Our guest today is Amanda Gloria. She is a game developer and producer in Texas. We connected on LinkedIn a few months ago. So today we are having her for a conversation and we'll ask her a few questions that you posted on my story. So let's get into it. Okay, so hi Amanda, welcome to the podcast.
Hello, thank you. I'm really excited to be here. This is my first time, so I
Yeah, me too.
appreciate
My
you
first time
having
also.
me. Okay.
So what's the time there at like right now?
It's 11:05 here where I'm at. I'm in Texas, USA.
So did you have lunch yet?
No, actually, not yet. I did have breakfast. I just had a strip of bacon and
Mm-hmm.
eggs, and yeah, that's it.
Right. So, okay, I think we can start. So, tell me about yourself. Like, how was life until now?
Man, this is my favorite question. Um, Kinda, not really. I'm still practicing like how to answer this question. But I guess the short version. I guess my day job and my day job, I am a tech support supervisor.
Uh-huh.
I've been with this company for over 4 years now, probably like 4.5 years now.
Uh-huh.
Um, so I'm kind of like on what do you call it? Like a sabbatical. Like I'm kind of taking time off from
Uh-huh.
there. So in that time, like since I've been off though, I this is what I've been doing. Just kind of exploring and trying to find out what I like, who I am, and just kind of following my passion. And that's kind of where I found myself here in game development and doing producer type stuff, just kind of implementing, my project management skills
Mm-hmm.
that I've had from, prior experiences from high school, college, and my professional career to now. And I just fell in love with it. I've done two game jams so far that I've, actually been a participant in, and then one where I was a mentor. And, all three experiences were just really, really awesome and just kind of really also solidified within me that
Right.
this is my passion, this is my path.
So
And
I would
yeah.
like to interrupt you actually, but can you like start from the beginning, like since you were little? So
Oh, since I was little.
yeah, since
Okay.
you were little.
Okay. Okay. Well, I was born and raised in South Texas.
Uh-huh.
So we are a predominantly Hispanic culture. There's just a lot of Latinos. I've heard mostly, Spanish growing up. That was my first language actually. So I'm trying to relearn it because, once I got into school and stuff, it's all English, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of forgot the Spanish. I'm trying to relearn it. Um, I've been practicing Duolingo with that. But yeah, I was homeschooled for a good portion of my life. I had some issues, I guess, kind of like acclimating to elementary school and stuff like that. But once I got into high school, middle school, that was, mostly public school, and then I actually graduated as a valedictorian from high school. So
Oh,
that was pretty cool.
yeah,
That
that's
was Yeah. So I loved science. I was in the AP Advanced Placement science courses. I took
mhm.
AP Chemistry and all that stuff, and I took some dual enrollment courses also. So I graduated high school with like 24 college credits. So I was only 6 hours or 6 credits shy of being a sophomore in college when I graduated high school. So that was pretty cool too. I was in marching band. Um, yeah, I didn't march though. I played the xylophone and, all the stuff in pit percussion.
Right.
Um, Yeah.
So, like, where was your schooling done? Was it in Texas only?
Yeah, I was in Texas. So yeah, I went to Coachella High School. So it's in the San Antonio area,
Mm-hmm.
but about an hour south. It's very, very small town. At the time, it was probably just only like 2,000, 3,000 people at the time. But yeah, not really much to do. I think the most exciting thing there at the time growing up was going to McDonald's. That was yeah,
McDonald's.
yeah, that was like our our a place to go or
Right,
Wendy's or
right, right.
yeah. So and then I graduated. I went to Texas A&M University Kingsville. I kind of always in my family and or I don't know, maybe it's like this way for most families or
Mm-hmm.
at least in my experience, there was I guess kind of like a lot of pressure to be a doctor or be a lawyer or be a business owner. So I took the path of the doctor.
Oh,
Yeah, so I went and actually graduated with a degree in biomedical sciences. So it's pretty much like a pre-med degree.
so
um,
you went to a med school.
no, not really. It was a like my concentration was pre-med. So because I was gonna go, I had plans to go to a pharmacy school because I wanted to be a pharmacist
Mm-hmm.
at the time. So I had all the grades. I I think I graduated with like a 3.75 or something like that. Um, and I did pretty well on the pharmacy admissions test. But yeah, I think and yeah, it was my junior year. I got pregnant with my daughter. So that was kind of more like I felt like I kind of had to be true to myself and be myself also if I was gonna be, a mother and just I don't know, take
So,
myself more
like, how
seriously.
old were you at that time?
I was 20 or 21.
Oh,
Yeah,
you had
yeah,
your first daughter when you were 20.
yeah, or 21.
Okay,
Yeah,
21.
when I was 21. Yeah.
Okay. So, like, are you the only child or you have siblings?
So I was the youngest by 13 years. So my mom,
Damn.
yeah. Yeah, my mom had me when she was 38 years old. So yeah, my older brothers, they're like well into their 40s. Yeah, so
Oh,
yeah. So I
I
actually
have a
I
sister.
went to school with my I went to high school with like my niece and nephew. So that was interesting. Yeah.
So, like, you had relatives living close to you.
Oh, sorry, what was that?
You had relatives living close to you.
Yeah, yeah. There, we were all like in that town or
In that
another
area.
small town.
Okay,
Yeah,
get
yeah.
it. So, when did you like get into the gaming part?
I would say like in high school, we didn't really have much money growing up,
Mm-hmm.
so the only thing I had that was actually mine was a blue Game Boy Advance SP. Even then, I only had one game. That was when I was like, what, I don't know, like maybe fourth grade. Um, I had Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. Put a lot of hours into that, but it wasn't until like maybe my freshman or sophomore year of high school when Black Ops 1 came out.
Uh-huh.
And we had our PS3, or my nephew, he had his PS3, and I tried playing, and oh my gosh, that was it. Like, I just got so addicted. That was when Call of Duty Zombies first came out. All the nostalgic stuff like the Keynote der Toten map and all that stuff was happening and all the Easter eggs and all the craze with like the YouTube videos and yeah. So from there it was just ever since then, I would say that was really the pivotal moment of when I just got deep into like gaming though on a serious level.
So, as you said, you did pre-medical and many other stuff. So,
Mhm.
why didn't you get into gaming? Like, why didn't you pursue
Mm,
gaming as a full-time career then?
yeah, because I think honestly it had a lot to do with like I guess the cultural sort of like that sort of pressure. Like at the time, doing anything in gaming or doing anything career related to gaming was not heard of at all. I don't think. Like I don't even think at that time that PewDiePie wasn't even a thing. Like when
Oh,
yeah, so this was even before like, PewDiePie and stuff.
so
Um
you actually stood a good chance, I think.
maybe. Yeah, possibly. Because yeah, I have been doing YouTube since I was, really young, since I was like 10 or 11 years old. I just never
Ah,
really had the courage to put my face out there or anything because I mean obviously I was young also. But yeah, it's something I thought about, especially when people like PewDiePie and
mhm.
Markiplier and Jacksepticeye, started blowing up.
Yeah.
I used to think like, oh, that's really cool. They're making a living off of this. They get to play video games and stuff, and they get paid for it, a lot of money too. Um, but even then, it was kind of more just like that's it wasn't a viable option, or I didn't see it as a viable option. To be like responsible or whatever. I had to go to college, get a degree, and all that kind of stuff. And so I was just kind of following that path really until, like my junior year of college. I had that realization. I was like, you know what? I don't even want to do this. I don't want to be a pharmacist. Like, what am I doing? Like, I love computers. I love technology. Like, that's kind of where the wheels started turning. I'm just like, okay, like this is not
Yeah.
for me, but I'm already in my junior year. Might as well, I guess, just finish it out. And then I had my daughter, and then I just kind of was in sort of, I guess, like a limbo at that time. I'm just like, okay, so I have this degree, but I don't really know what to do with it. So that's kind of where I got into like the tech support stuff because I knew I wanted to gear more towards tech. So that was actually pretty cool. I got put on a contract with I can't say because I signed an NDA. I can't say who, but
Oh, yeah, yeah,
pretty much like the, I guess, biggest tech giant. They go by a fruit name.
yeah.
Um,
Okay.
but yeah, so I was working under them and got like really good training through them. It was a really awesome experience.
So how many
So,
years did you work with them?
for 2 years,
For
2 years,
2 years.
and
Okay.
then yeah, the contract 2 or 3 years. The contract,
So
I guess,
when was
didn't
this?
go through.
When was this 3 years?
So I started in 2019. So
Mm-hmm.
and then our contract with them went up until 2021. 2021. Yeah, so about 2 years.
That's
But
quite
yeah,
recent. Yeah, that's quite recent.
yeah, yeah. So learned a lot. I mean, a lot of stuff, and the people there are really awesome, and it was really good training too. And I feel like that's really helped me out a lot in my professional development. Just knowing the tech side and knowing it at that level. Like I guess like the top one of the top tech companies in the entire world. It was
Yeah,
really a really good opportunity.
yeah.
Um, yeah. So, but yeah, just from there, honestly, at work, there's a lot of gamers like
Hmm.
in tech support. At least where I where I am, there's a lot of us in tech support. So that's kind of also what kind of kept the wheels turning too. It's just like these are my people. Like I feel most comfortable when I'm talking with the gamers, and I would play games outside of work with them also. So that's when I was like, it kind of leading me back into the gaming world. That's kind of where that was taking me also.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I just kind of, I think as time went on, I got more and more into like the corporate ladder. I kind of
Hmm.
kept climbing and became like a supervisor and stuff like that. And I wasn't bad at it. I was good at it. I got, like really good stats. My team had really good stats and stuff like that, but it wasn't for me. It wasn't fulfilling. I think that's when I was starting to realize more like the creativity in me needs to be let out. I don't know what it is yet, but it needs, that's where I need to be. So when I took this time off, that's when I kind of started thinking more and more about it. I'm just like, you know what, like I think this makes sense. So I started looking for mentors. Are you're familiar with Amir on
Yeah,
LinkedIn?
yeah, yeah. You
Okay.
shared his profile with me. Yeah,
Yes. Okay.
yeah. I checked him
So
out.
yeah, so he has really awesome stuff. That's where I found my first gaming mentor from
Uh-huh.
Tagwez. She's based out in Mexico. She's a senior producer, so she's the one that told me like, hey, have you done a game jam before? Like, where are you at, like in your job search, or have you even touched anything game dev? I'm just like, no. And I was like, I think I've heard of a game jam, but no, I haven't done it before. And she's like, you should start there. So I did, and that's the floodgates just opened. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like, it's technical, it's creative. I can also be, like organizing stuff, and I can have all of my hands in all of it as a producer, like in a producer role. I could speak with the devs, I could speak with the artists, I could speak with,
Mm-hmm.
everybody. So that's where I was like, I think this is it. Like, this is the creativity, but, organization sort of thing, sort of outlet that I needed. So that's just kind of what I'm doing now still. That's what
So
led me to
I'll
here.
interrupt you again. This sounds interesting. We'll come back to this later. I wanted to ask you, like, how was it living with your parents? Like,
Living with my
yeah,
parents,
yeah.
um, mm, I mean, it wasn't bad, but also I think also because I was the only girl,
Mm-hmm.
there was a lot of like uh I felt a lot more like I couldn't really do much. Like I couldn't,
Like restrictions and stuff.
yeah, a lot of
Uh-huh.
restrictions and a lot, I mean, obviously, I was a teenager and I was
Mm-hmm.
still a kid, there was a lot of rules and I get that, but yeah, it did feel very also kind of like restrictive. So that it was it was interesting. It was an interesting dynamic. But it was, yeah, I love my parents though. I credit them to being like where I am today. So yeah.
So, like, as you said, you have a older brother. So, were you ever compared to him or something?
I wouldn't, no, not really, because I feel like because they're part of completely different generations.
Mm-hmm.
And they started their lives obviously a lot earlier than I did. So
Mm-hmm.
they kind of had their lives going and stuff like that. So I think my parents, they were really good about that. There wasn't any sort of like comparisons or, you know, pitting us against each other or anything like that. And I know that that's kind of an issue, unfortunately, with some parents where they do that, like they compare
Yeah,
siblings. So thankfully, no, that wasn't anything that my parents did, because yeah,
because
that's
actually,
definitely a
where we come from now, they compare you with your siblings.
Oh wow,
Yeah, there's
yeah,
a competition. Yeah.
yeah. So it's not unheard of, especially I feel like in Hispanic culture. But no, thankfully my parents weren't like that. They were more chill about it. Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, we can come back to that game jam thing. So, you were working with, like, in what industry before you came into gaming?
So I guess technically it's the BPO industry, business process outsourcing.
Right.
Um,
So,
yeah. So yeah,
what
like tech
did
support.
before doing, like, you are a producer right now, right?
hmm
So, before this, did you have any knowledge about game developing or stuff like that?
So it's kind of yes and kind of no.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I say yes is because I've I've always watched and read articles and watched YouTube videos and like behind the scenes of creating video games, of my favorite video games and stuff like that. So I kind of had an idea of, how the process would go, and especially since indie games kind of started blowing up. I remember the first Twitch stream, the very first Twitch stream that I watched was the creator of Stardew Valley. Do you know that video
Oh,
game?
yeah, 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 sure.
Yeah, that was my very first Twitch stream that I watched. It was just him coding. we were, I think it was like 2,000 of us or something, like watching him coding. So I kind of surrounded myself in that just naturally, because I'd always found an interest in that and just tech in general. But yeah, I feel like I did sort of kind of have that to my advantage, just the fact that I surrounded myself in that kind of media, just reading about it and watching videos on it and stuff like that. But formally, no. I would still say, like, to this day, I don't have like a like formal education. Like, yeah, I definitely don't have formal education on game development, but it's just kind of, just kind of putting myself into the thick of it that I've learned a lot of this stuff, and also kind of piecing the puzzles together from other industries, or the other industries that I've been in, just kind of using like those transferable skills. And it's so far so good. I mean, yeah, I feel like it's kind of helped out a lot doing it that way too.
So, like, what's the stuff that you do? Like, what do producers do actually?
So honestly, it really depends. Based on, if you're indie, if you're double A, triple A, and especially studio by studio, it really just varies. But I would say for an like overall general perspective, producers are mainly are they're project managers essentially.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones kind of just doing the cross-functional stuff, like talking to the people in audio, talking to the people in art, talking to the people in animation. They're the ones kind of just getting everybody connected to make sure that everything is, going according to plan. So yeah, I guess that would be the best way that I could describe it, is they're the ones that keep it efficient, just kind of keep everything going down the pipeline.
So it's more of a management thing than
Yeah.
taking it on yourself.
Yeah, and there's like, especially in indie environments too, though, because like on my personal projects, I've had to do like, a little bit of coding. I've made sprites myself and stuff like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I would still really majority like assume the producer role. So I guess, like I said, it really just depends, I guess, what sort of working environment you're in. But yeah, that I would say that that's the general consensus of what a producer is, just kind of the management of the game development workflow.
Uh-huh. So, like as you told, you worked in game jams with your friends. So, how was the experience of it? Like,
That
did you
was
have fun?
really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the same thing with my friends too. Like we're all pretty familiar with gaming. Like we're all huge gamers, so we know kind of like the lingo and um I guess the very basics of, how to make a game and stuff like that. So we all had a lot of fun. One of my friends was she graduated with the Bachelor of Fine Arts. So that was our artist. The other, she graduated in computer science, so that was our programmer. She actually went to school to be, a game dev, but kind of just didn't pan out that way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, we all kind of just found our places in the game jam. With Hopscorch, that was our first game jam game, and yeah, just since then we've just kind of been working on it at our own pace, just slowly but surely. So yeah, it's been really good. It's been awesome.
Okay, so I put on a story that I have this meeting. So I got some questions from my friends and other viewers. So I'll ask them to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna record this too, just in case. Hopefully nothing happens like where your recording messes up or anything. But I was like, oh, I should probably record this too, just in case he has
Yeah,
something
yeah, yeah,
wrong
yeah,
with his
sure. It's
files.
okay. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so are you into movies and TV shows and stuff?
Oh, sorry, can you repeat that? You kind of broke up
Are you
there.
into movies and TV shows and other stuff like that?
Yeah, I would say, yeah, I'm pretty big into movies. I don't really go out much to the movies as much as I used to,
Mm-hmm.
since before COVID. But yeah, I the last movie I did see though was in theaters was the Barbie movie, so that was really cool. I really liked the Barbie movie. TV shows, mm, I don't really watch like traditional television,
Mm-hmm.
but I will watch stuff on Netflix and from time to time. Most of what I watch though is like YouTube videos, VODs from Twitch streamers, and live streams on Twitch themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of more of what I watch though is like YouTube and Twitch kind of stuff. But yeah, I do like all forms of media, I guess you could say.
So, do you have like a favorite genre or a favorite movie or TV show?
Yeah, so I would say my favorite TV show would have to be Breaking Bad.
Oh.
Um, yeah, just because, when I first watched it, I was in college. I was, majoring in biology, minoring in chemistry. I'm just like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like everything that he's saying, like about like the chemical reactions and stuff, like it's true. Like it's actual real chemistry. So I was so hooked on that. And then, man, just like the Greek tragedy of it all and just how tragic it was. And I don't know, it was just, man, I could go on about Breaking Bad. It's such a masterpiece. But yeah, that's definitely my favorite TV show.
Yeah, I've heard
My
a lot
food,
about it. I haven't watched it myself, but yeah, my friends have watched it, so they recommend me it
yeah,
all the time. Yeah.
I highly recommend I highly recommend it. So yeah, movie, I'm not too sure about that one. My go-to answer is like usually Django Unchained or
Uh-huh.
Inglorious Bastards from Quentin Tarantino. I don't know, that sort of like drama and sort of like kind of action. I like that kind of stuff. So yeah, that would be my answer for movies.
All right. So, do you still play games?
Yes, yes, I do. I do
You do.
still play games. Yeah, um, I I have mostly been playing. Actually, I have only been playing Overwatch, so that's where I'm at right now.
So, you like
um,
grinding games, playing with
yeah, I
friends?
mean, I wouldn't
Yeah.
say definitely FPS.
FPS.
Just because it started, with Call of Duty, Black Ops,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was playing Modern Warfare 2 a lot. And before that, I was playing Halo Infinite. So I would say definitely probably shooters, like FPS is more of my favorite genre
Okay.
personally.
So, what will you say is your favorite game? Like, which game is it?
Ooh,
Mm.
yeah. So man, that's hard because I really, really love Overwatch and I really love Team Fortress 2 from Valve.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Like all-time favorite.
Man, that's so hard because, oh man. Mm, you know what? I'll just throw a curveball and say Risk of Rain 2. Yeah, I don't know if you've heard that of that or
I
Risk of
I
Rain.
I haven't actually. I don't play
Okay.
FPS games that much.
Oh, okay. So it's
Yeah.
more of like a roguelike. It's not an FPS at all, but it's a really, really, really good game. Really
Oh.
good music. Um, I wish I could say all three, but I'll just say Risk of Rain just to
So
mix things
you
up.
you don't play story games, RPG games, stuff like that?
Not really RPG. I have watched a lot of gameplay of oh my gosh, Disco Elysium because I watched my husband play that one. That's his all-time favorite game. Um, I need to play that myself because I would love to get into RPGs because I feel like it's a huge genre that everybody likes. So that's probably going to be the first one that I go to is Disco
So
Elysium.
uh-huh. So this is a off-track question, but do you have a PS5?
I don't. I don't
Oh,
actually. Yeah, no, we kind of have been trying to see if we could get our hands on one, but I think yeah, we're just kind of good with our PCs, and then my husband has a Steam Deck, so I feel like that's kind of our PS5
Right.
for now. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, so next question is, are you living the dream life?
Am I living the dream life?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a really good question. I would say yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say yes because I have a family. We have our new home, and we have our. I just recently got a puppy too. He's under my desk right now,
Oh,
sleeping, and then I have my daughter and my son and my husband, of course, and kind of just living out here in kind of the middle of nowhere, but also not really. There's a lot
so
of
you don't live in
farmland.
Texas anymore?
No, yeah, we live in Texas, but it's very, very like farmy. I mean, yeah, I
Ah,
guess like yeah, there's cows around us, so it's very peaceful in our area. So I would say yeah, I would say that I am. That's a good question.
all right. So does it feel good?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would say it feels good, especially now that I can. I'm
Actually,
getting
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I'm getting used to like kind of or trying to get used to juggling like the game dev stuff, and it's
Mhm.
getting easier. So yeah.
Actually, I had many of questions if the answer was no, but it's yes. So,
Okay.
so the next one is, how much do you earn? Like, according to you, are you earning good money? You don't have to tell the
Mm,
exact amount, but you can tell the range if you want.
yeah, I wouldn't say so. I haven't earned any money, from like game development or anything like that. Just because it's kind of just not really a hobby, because I feel like that's kind of minimizing my passion towards how I feel about it. But we haven't like, put it on Steam or anything to be, sold. But for right now, my main source of income is my day job. And yeah, I wouldn't say that I earn that much money.
So you
So
you're on a paid sabbatical right
yeah, that too. So yeah,
now.
it's decreased sort
All
of
right,
pay.
all
Yeah,
right, all right.
also. Yeah.
Okay, so like so far as I've seen, you're not into content creation. Why is that?
Well, I'm exploring that route. So I do have some videos recorded.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of editing them because I really do want to revive my YouTube channel. That's the plan. So that's the plan to do that regularly, content creation. So yeah,
So you'll
I would say
be getting into
yeah.
that soon,
Yes, for sure. Yeah, I would say for sure, just to
for sure.
keep
Uh-huh.
me on track with that. Yeah.
All right. So are you familiar with the designer path to game development or not?
Mm, to a degree, I would say yes, just because, yeah, I would say yes. A little, kind of,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
So are designers underpaid in comparison to other professions?
Underpaid?
Yeah.
Um, I wouldn't say that they're the most paid,
Mm-hmm.
but I wouldn't say they're the lowest paid either. And honestly, also, I feel like it depends too, just on the studio. You'll be surprised at how different each gaming studio can operate from one to another, especially when you take into consideration, like is it an indie, is it double A, is it triple A? So there's a lot of variations there. But from my research, what I've done, yeah, I wouldn't say that they're underpaid. I feel like they get paid pretty decently. So
So
yeah.
have you associated with a triple A studio before or not?
Um Sort of, not really. So I was this was one of the things that kind of pushed me like very hard into like looking into the gaming industry.
Mm-hmm.
There was a recruiter in from EA that was actually, looking at my profile. I couldn't see who it was, but I could see that they were from EA and they just
Yeah.
kept looking at my profile. Um, And then I met up with a recruiter from EA at one of the career fairs that I went to. It was a Latinas in Tech.
Mhm.
So I would say that's probably the closest association I had with the AAA. I was kind of sort of being considered for an associate producer role at EA. But also I am one of the studios I'm volunteering for, Exivi Studios. They are, they are building a AAA FPS game. So
Oh,
yeah, so I do kind of have my hands in that too. So I mean, yeah, I guess you could say I do
so
have AAA experience.
uh-huh.
So yeah, it's kind of from the ground up though. We're kind of like doing the whole startup thing. So
You can't
it will.
reveal you can't reveal the name, can you?
Oh no, yeah. So the name of the game is called Blackpoint VR. So it actually has a Discord and its own website and everything. So yeah, definitely check that out. Blackpointbr.com.
Uh-huh.
And
Very
it
good.
has it has like its own little uh, in-game trailer and stuff like that. So it's
So
really cool stuff.
till when is it expected to launch?
I guess fully expected. I would say within the next year or two, but we are working on some stuff in the background to have something hopefully playable for everybody. So just keep an eye out for that too. So
Right.
within the next couple of months or so, you should see something from us.
Mhm. So, like, can you tell me more about this Latinas in gaming?
Yeah, so it's Latinas in tech, Latinas in gaming. Um, Latinas in tech is basically just kind of what it sounds like. Yeah, it's basically like an organization to
Uh-huh.
amplify Latina voices, just to kind of get us more exposure into the tech world because I would say we are the minority of the minority.
Uh-huh.
We are the least represented in tech in general and especially in gaming. So yeah, that's just kind of also like the part that I play with Exivi Studios and Blackpoint VR. As an ambassador, that's kind of my role, just to kind of uplift Latina voices and other women of color in gaming and stuff like that, just to have that space for us and make sure that there's more representation and
So, would you
place for us to
say
be.
there's discrimination based on that in the community?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think in every without going too deep into it, I feel like just being a woman and especially a woman of color in general, you kind of face discrimination and stuff, no matter what situation you're in or what industry. But I would especially say so in gaming. Just the history that I've seen, and seeing it from a teen. It has changed a lot for the better, though. Like I will say that it has gotten way better. The community and you can see it on LinkedIn too. The gaming community on LinkedIn is amazing. They're so supportive, and it's kind of like a beacon of how the gaming industry should be remembered for in the
Mhm.
future, for future generations to come. So it's getting there. So yeah, we're on the right path.
All right. Okay, so have you ever associated with an Indian employee or something? Like anyone from India?
Yes,
You
yes, they
have?
have.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So my company, the one that I'm taking a leave from,
Mm-hmm.
um, I would say the majority is employed in Pakistan.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I have had to. Uh, I have had to have like communications with the GNOC, like Global Network. I forgot what it's called. Global Networking Operations Center. Yeah. So like the guys who run like all the servers and the firewall and stuff like that for our company, they're based out of Pakistan. So I have had to talk to a lot. Like
Well,
in that, yeah.
that's not India actually. It's a different
I was
country,
like,
but
yeah.
it's
I
fine.
was like, wait, no, yeah. I was like, wait, no, Pakistan is somewhere else. But yeah, that area, India, I probably not. Now that I think about it, yeah, no, it's Pakistan. Sorry.
So, do you have any idea about how Indian employees are treated in other countries, like in your company, for example?
um, honestly, I'm not. That's a really good question. Honestly, I'm not too sure. That is something worth looking into though, because I feel like just personally on research that I have done, like for BPO industries, like in general, I feel like it's not great here in America. Um, call
Right.
centers,
Mm-hmm.
that's a place where a lot of people say like, oh, call center job. Mm-mm. And I don't think it's any different in other countries.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling that it's actually a lot worse in other
Oh, all
countries.
right.
Yeah. So that's just kind of my opinion, though, just basically what I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I do see a lot, though, from my company specifically, like from India, I think, I'm sorry, like for sure, like Pakistan, the Philippines. There's a lot of people in the Philippines in my company. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people in Central America. They post a lot of good stuff though, like about what the company is doing and how they have a lot of opportunities there. So now that I think about it, I think my company's doing a fairly good job, and in terms of employee engagement and stuff like that.
All right. So, do you think college is necessary to become a designer?
No,
You don't.
I don't think so. I don't think so, but honestly, it's such a the gaming industry is so massive and so huge that I feel like you could find a place for yourself anywhere, whether you have a degree or not, there might be some studios that that's a must, that's a requirement. You have to have like a bachelor's of game design or something like that, or computer science. But also there's other studios that if you have the experience, if you have the portfolio, then you're good. So personally, I don't think it's necessary, but it definitely helps. Like there's no doubt about that. It definitely helps. Just having a degree in general, yeah, it's huge. So yeah.
So, like, how would you suggest to people like my age, like in their 20s or early 20s, to begin a career in gaming industry?
I'm always gonna say game jam.
Game
Cause
jam.
yeah, because I mean it just also depends too, because if you're looking to do like, game dev, definitely game jam, because you're going to be thrown into it right away, into the thick of it. You're going to get all this knowledge in such a short amount of time, but you're going to come out with a lot of knowledge. You're going to take a lot away from it. So I feel like that's definitely a way, especially for students, to kind of get their feet wet and to help them really see from the classroom to like actual tangible game dev experience, how everything kind of transfers and works out. So I would say game jams is a good way. Or there's also internships that I know a lot of studios do, so that's also really good too.
Mhm.
So I would say either one, either or mentorships too. Like yeah, that I know that also helps too.
So,
So yeah.
as you said, you took a mentorship. So, how does that feel actually? Like, how was the experience?
Um, yeah, for me being the mentee, I honestly I can't say that I would be here without any of my mentors, because I've learned a lot from them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely helped me a lot and sped up my career development and my career growth, and I would say even my personal growth. So I think it's huge. I think mentorship, everybody should have at least one mentor. And especially, at least three in terms of, professional development, because there's just, you never want to, have just that one voice. You always want to have different sort of perspectives of how to approach
Mhm.
your experiences. So yeah.
So, what's your opinion about online courses? Like, have you heard of Udemy?
Yes.
So, what's your opinion about that?
I think they're good, and I think that they're an affordable alternative. I haven't personally taken any courses from Udemy, but I have taken courses from Coursera, which is
Yeah, yeah,
pretty
Coursera.
much the same thing.
Mhm.
I think they're really good, especially with the universities and companies that they have partnerships with. I did learn how to do programming from Coursera through Johns Hopkins University. I learned how to do our programming and data analysis.
Mhm.
Um, Now I'm in the process of doing my project management certificate through Google. It's an amazing program. It's very well done. So if you're interested in project management, I would definitely look into that. But yeah, I think they're awesome. Like I said, affordable. I know Coursera offers, some financial aid if you
Mhm.
can't do like the $40 a month or whatever. So I think it's awesome. Yeah, I think it's a good alternative if a
So,
traditional
what do
university
you
isn't the
think?
way.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So, what do you think about YouTube? Is it a good source of learning or not?
That's a really good question. So I feel like it can be. It really can be, because if you know what you're looking for and if you follow the right people, you could learn a lot. So one of the guys that I was learning about, how to build my own game, like if I wanted to do like a solo project.
Mhm.
I think his name is Errol, Errol, but he's a game dev. He's an indie game developer, and he's also a YouTuber. And I learned a lot from him, just from like just a handful of videos that I've seen from him. So if you find somebody like that, I mean, it's priceless. So I think YouTube is, it can be a pretty good place to educate yourself, but you just got to make sure you're you're watching the right stuff. You're watching the right people.
Right.
Yeah.
So, are you into mobile games also?
Um, Not really, but when I do get something, I do kind of like hyper focus on it. Um, that was a long time ago though that I was really big on mobile games, but yeah, at the moment, yeah, I can't say that I'm too big on mobile games.
So, you have a knowledge about it, right?
The knowledge about mobile games?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know of mobile games, and that's kind of one of the options that we were exploring too for Hopscotch, just to see if we might want to make it into a mobile game. But yeah, in terms of developing specifically for mobile or playing mobile, especially, yeah, I'm not too well versed on that front, to be honest.
So, have you played PUBG Mobile?
I haven't.
You
I
haven't.
have
Okay.
not. No, I've just only played the PC version,
Uh-huh.
but I've heard really good things about the mobile.
Yeah, it's one of the most popular mobile games. So,
Yeah. So it's definitely not a small thing. I think it's actually bigger than I think any other. In terms of, I guess, revenue, mobile games are very high up
yeah,
there.
it actually became too big. They had to ban.
Yeah.
They had to ban it in our country.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
So many kids were playing it. They were committing suicide and stuff. They were doing stuff. I don't know.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Wow. Yeah, I've heard of like games and stuff being banned. Like I think
Hmm.
Fortnite has also been banned.
No, Fortnite hasn't
No.
been banned in my country yet.
Oh, not well, or was it China that they banned for? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it was banned in China.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, that's crazy. I'd never really looked into like what I guess the underlying issues were for them being banned, but wow, that's crazy. But so that like was it like an addiction sort of thing? Like
Yeah, it was an addiction sort of thing. Like mostly
wow,
the students or kids at young age were getting addicted to it.
that's
I,
crazy.
yeah, they were seeing violent behavior in young kids. Yeah, yeah.
Wow. I need to do my research more on that. But that's
Hmm.
yeah, I'll definitely look into that for
Yeah.
sure.
So, what do you think is the future of mobile games?
I don't think it's going away.
Hmm.
At least in my country, there seems to be a lot of push for, development in mobile games. Um, but personally, it's kind of just sort of like something in the background for me. But yeah, I don't think it's going away. I think it might just keep getting bigger.
Hmm.
Um, that's kind of I guess the only input I would have on that. I don't really I haven't been in the mobile side of things for a long time, but yeah, I think there's a lot still to come from the mobile side of gaming.
Sorry.
I'm
So,
good.
as you said before, you got pregnant when you were in college, right?
Yes.
So, what's your opinion on relationships in college?
I think it really just depends. Like if that's something that you want to pursue, if you want to,
Hmm.
it's a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie, because college on its own is hard. Is very hard.
Hmm.
Is very very hard. Um, and relationships are also on their own very very hard. So if that's what you want to do, though, I mean, you can do it. It has been done. I'm kind of a living example. Because I went to college with my husband. I
Hmm.
followed him to college. um, so I think anybody, thinking about that though, or like, wanting to do college and a relationship, I feel like they also have to know that that extra work is going to be there. Like, be prepared for that. Juggling the relationship part and
Right.
the schoolwork. Yeah. But yeah.
Okay, so how long were you married, you said?
We have been married for 7 years now. Yeah, 7 years. We've been married for 7 years.
Hmm.
We've been together like going on 12 years, I
Oh,
think.
that's a really long time.
Yeah, so we started dating in my junior year of high school. So yeah, we were high school sweethearts. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's huge actually.
yeah. So we've been together for a long time.
So,
Um, yeah.
yeah, so do you think you have any regrets that you would want to change or no?
Mm, I think my only regret would be not being honest with myself or true to myself sooner.
Hmm.
I think that's my only regret is, I'm still young though. I mean, I'm happy that I have come to this point where, I've put myself first and my interest first and my passions first to be able to pursue game development and, soon content creation and gaming. Um, but yeah, I think that would be my only regret is just trying to live out, like my parents' expectations or like, my family's expectations and like the cultural expectation of you have to be a doctor, like you have to do this or, you
Oh,
have
so
to be
you were having family pressure.
yeah, yeah.
So
from
you
the
come from
beginning.
a doctor family or business family?
No, I mean, not honestly, not really. There are doctors in my family, but my parents, my dad was a welder, and he worked in he was a corrections officer. My mom, she worked in medical, but she was just like kind of like she kept the files and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But no, they neither had a degree, but that was kind of all like always the thing like to push for. Like you have to be a doctor, you have to do
Right,
this.
right, right.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that would be my only regret though, is just not following my dreams, my passion sooner. Yeah.
So, what are some tips you would like to give to people who are starting out on making content?
Um Definitely kind of like the same sort of theme, like just be yourself.
Mhm.
Because if you're not being yourself, if you're trying to be something else that you feel like would make your content more successful, like people are going to see through that. And you'd be surprised at how genuine like how nice and genuine reactions you get from just being yourself. So I would say, yeah, just be yourself and just do what you feel like is right.
Alright. So, what are your plans for the future? Like for the next 1 year, you'd say, or next 2 years?
I would definitely say get myself more into other uh, social medias, not just LinkedIn or not just YouTube. So just kind of working on, obviously, my presence on Instagram is not the best. So trying to focus on that too. But definitely, doing more in game dev, getting more experience in that. And then I think just kind of also documenting that process. So just kind of doing both the content creation and the actual game development. So that's really what I want to do, what I'm shooting for.
So, what do you think is stopping you from making the content, like posting the content?
It's yeah, just trying to find that rhythm.
Mhm.
Because yeah, I feel like I'm getting more comfortable balancing like the family life and the game dev sort of side. But now I'm throwing in like content creation in the mix, which is like its own job. So yeah, I think just kind of trying to find that balance. That's kind of where I'm at. So I think I'm just gonna have to just create a schedule for myself and just um, that's kind of where I'm at. And then at the same time, obviously, just kind of having time for myself and like the sabbatical part, just really just you know watching after myself and self-care, promoting that as well.
So, do you think you have a specific incident that turned your life into what it is now, or maybe no?
Mm, I think uh I think it probably had to be when I first met my very first mentor, Diana from Google.
Mm-hmm.
She was doing a LinkedIn live event. Um, it was actually like a year ago, almost to the day, where she was talking about her experience, growing up in tech and building computers, and that kind of just following her passion for that and ending up in Google. And she talked about doing Twitch also on the side. And
Mm-hmm.
then I reached out to her, and yeah, we had our mentor sessions, and I learned a lot from her. That's where I learned about Latinx in gaming, and yeah, I would say that was definitely the very first pivotal moment.
Yeah. So, I think I was asking, how did you find that mentor? Like, how do you find mentors in general?
Honestly, how I found her, it was a LinkedIn live event. It was a fireside chat with a bunch of employees at Google, or Google and LinkedIn was like the main ones. So I just pretty much found her just by joining a LinkedIn event, and she talked about mentors and mentorship. So after that, I just decided to ask her through LinkedIn, like, hey, can you be my mentor? And yeah, we just kind of took it from there. And then obviously, another popular way is, within your current organization or company, like if you're at school, I feel like you could just honestly maybe ask like one of your professors that you look up to, or somebody in like student organizations. Yeah, honestly, I feel like anybody could really be your mentor. And then there's uh, that resource that Amir has with that huge spreadsheet with the list of mentors. There's stuff like that out there. So yeah, you can really go about it a number of ways, and it's just a matter of asking and finding the right person for you to accomplish what you want to accomplish.
So, do you think you are ready to be a mentor?
Yeah, I think so. I signed up to be a mentor, so I have had people schedule meetings with me even before I signed up to be a mentor through Amir's mentor program. I was already having people asking me. I was like, yeah, like I feel like I don't think anybody's ever really gonna feel ready to be a mentor, because even as a mentee, you teach your mentor stuff too. So it's kind of like a mutual sort of thing, like a symbiotic sort of thing. So yeah, I think anybody, it always has somebody, always has something to offer other people in terms of knowledge and stuff. So yeah, I think it's a good thing for everybody pretty much, especially if you feel like you have knowledge to offer.
So, how would you suggest people like us to increase exposure to the gaming industry?
Mm, I think the avenue that we're sort of taking is good, like content creation, podcasts, and um, making social media posts and stuff like that. I think those are all really good ways, because you build a following that way, and then you kind of get your message out there to a lot of people very fast. So I think this is a pretty good way personally. And then, if you want to make an impact sort of like on a local scale, like within your community, just kind of talking to people, just letting people know about what you're doing and educating them. I feel like that's also another really good way too. Yeah.
So, I think that'll be it for the questions. So,
Okay.
is there anything else like you want to ask?
Um, I think that was pretty much it. I guess how do you feel, or how did you feel about about your first podcast?
I don't know. I'm kind of feeling nervous right now.
Yeah, me too. It's yeah. I'm pretty sure the more we do this, though,
Yeah.
it'll get easier and we'll be more comfortable.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's really cool though. Like what you're doing. It's I think, like I said, we do need more of this, especially if this is kind of something you want to explore, especially in terms of game development. Just kind of like spreading the word about game dev and encouraging other people and your friends and stuff. I think that's awesome. So yeah, I just keep doing it, and I'm gonna hold myself to it also, to keep pressing on for that YouTube video creation and Instagram building and stuff like that. Because yeah,
I'm
I think
also
it's all
just
really
trying
important.
YouTube like right now.
Yeah. Oh, what's your? Let me subscribe to you. What's your?
Uh, I don't know if you can find it. It's called That an Experience Guy.
Mm,
Yeah.
oh, maybe is it on your Instagram? Like, do you have a link on your Instagram?
No,
To
not yet.
oh,
Not yet.
okay.
But
Oh,
I can
okay.
send you the link on LinkedIn later.
Yeah, you gotta just send it to me, and then I'll subscribe to you, and
Mhm.
we'll start building your following and stuff. Yeah,
Right.
but
So,
yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Thank you for allowing me to be your first guest. This is my first time being on a podcast, so
thank you
hopefully,
for being my first guest actually.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I,
It was
I
it
don't
was a
think
fun
anyone
experience.
comes like that.
Yeah, it was awesome. But yeah, just message me on LinkedIn if you have any other questions. And
Sure, yeah.
yeah, thank you for having me. And I will talk to you later.
Thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
Yeah, have a good day.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
So that's it for this podcast. Like if you found this interesting, and hopefully we'll call more people on podcasts. Share it with your friends and subscribe and stay tuned for more amazing content. Bye.